2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Hour. My name is Stefanis Kokis. With me always is Cody Tuttle, back from Hawaii, and Michael Mijas with a broken rib.
Yes.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Cody, that's the most tan I've ever seen you, I think.
Yeah.
Is that from I see you got a little sun. You got a little sun. It looks like
It might be the lighting with this camera. I don't know. People told me at work that I didn't look very tan. I must be really white all the time. But yeah, I got a lot of sun. You know, it's hard not to. I got burnt a couple times going snorkeling.
looks like you got burnt right around here a little
Yeah.
bit.
Well, I was living that lazy island culture, and didn't feel like shaving. And now I have a goatee. I'll get rid of it soon. And
So
it's just kind of dumb.
you stopped at a gym. How was that?
Oh, I went to Carlson Gracie, a Carlson Gracie affiliate in Maui. Um, it was pretty cool. It was only about 9 minutes away from where I was staying. There was another gym on the island that I really wanted to go to. It was Luis Heredia's gym. He was a fifth degree Hickson Gracie black belt. But the transportation on the islands is really weird. Like Maui doesn't sound like or doesn't look like a very big place, but it was going to take me like 2 hours to get to Luis Heredia's gym. So as soon as I looked that up, I realized I wasn't driving 2 hours. And the Carlson affiliate was only like 8 minutes down the street, so it was really close. I went to a day class. There were only like 5 people there, but it was cool. It was the guy was older. He's a third degree black belt. So he was like, I think he said he was either 36 or 38. He just showed some some basic self defense stuff to warm up. It was pretty cool.
Now there's a lot of gyms actually in Hawaii. There's a lot of big name. I know Half Crazy has a gym down there. Iken Inoue has a gym down there. Uh, there's a bunch. I think BJ Penn has a gym down there.
I was gonna say you're
Yeah,
forgetting
yeah,
BJ's.
yeah.
Uh, I drove past BJ's gym. Again, it was on the other end of the island. I was on the so I was in 3 islands. I was on the island of Oahu. I was only there for 2 days, and if you do a quick search of jiu-jitsu in Honolulu, there are a ton of gyms on the island of Oahu. That's where all the people are. There's like 1 million people that live on the island of Oahu, and it's either the third or fourth biggest. I was on Maui, and there's only 2 gyms in Maui. It was or at least that I could find. So it was the Carlson Gracie gym, and then Luis Heredia's gym, and then on the Big Island of Hawaii. I didn't really look too much into it because I was only there for like 4 days, and it was the last couple days. But I was on one end, and Hilo, where BJ's gym was, on the other end of the island, and it took me about 2.5 hours to drive from where I was staying to Hilo. So I happened to be in Hilo, and I looked up BJ's address for his gym because I just wanted to see it. It was like 6:30 or so, and I drove past on a Saturday night. It looked pretty cool. I took a picture of it standing outside looking at the door, but it closed at 5 o'clock on Saturdays. So um, I did get to see it. Didn't get to train there though.
That's cool. Well, it sounds like you had a good time.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm trying to figure out why I'm back. After being there, I haven't come up with very many reasons as to why I should come back.
Can't compare West Virginia to the Big Island, huh?
Hell no, hell no. There's so much to do. Like
I know. It's hard.
it's just we did all kinds of like I biked down a volcano. That was cool. Like it was a 16-mile bike ride down a volcano at like 6 in the morning. Um, I hiked through Volcanoes National Park on the Big Island. I went snorkeling. I went snorkeling at night with manta rays that were like 15 feet long or wide. It was terrifying. There's all kinds of stuff to do.
That's pretty sweet. That's
It was pretty cool. I really didn't want to do it. Erin signed us up for it. I told her that she was probably gonna cause a divorce, but I did it. I did it anyway, and it was really cool. But yeah, there's just so much stuff. There's people are always outside. The weather's great. I don't know why I'm here.
That's how I was. I was in the Bahamas last month, and as soon as I got back, I was like, "Oh man, Ohio." So,
I come back to Ohio twice a week, and I'm like, why am I here?
and he's just coming from Pennsylvania. That's how
Yeah.
bad Ohio is. So, come
Well,
on, Ohio's not that bad.
I drive through Ohio every day going
Just
to work.
compared to PA.
yeah. So what news we got?
We got Sonny's tournament coming up. Is that next week?
It's the 25th.
25th.
The
So
25th.
Yep.
So we got 2 weeks.
And that there's a lot of people I've seen are competing at that, and I'm probably gonna stop by and check it out. There's a couple guys from our school competing. I think Rob Sullivan's competing. Not sure who else is competing, but I'm gonna go there check it out. I always like watching tournaments, so go there support it.
That's always a big one.
Definitely. Me and you, Cody, we've competed there a couple. Stephanie, you competed there?
No, I was at a different one out that way. I forget which one, Pittsburgh Martial Arts or whatever it was called, Pennsylvania Combat Sports.
I've done it twice. How many times have you done that one?
I've done it twice. I did it in 2011 as a blue belt, and then 2012 as a purple belt. I was there watching in 2010, and every year it's just gotten bigger and bigger. They have that cap of 300 people. I don't know if they actually reach it or not, but they got to be pretty close because there's a lot of people. I think that was one of the bigger purple belt divisions that I've seen in the area in 2012. So Sonny does a good job of doing that tournament every year.
That was the first tournament I think I heard about when I started. So it was about this time of the year I started jiu-jitsu too, about 3 years ago. So, oh, you lost your audio?
Mike lost his audio.
Yeah, I think he sat on his button. Nope. Mike, you broke it. Can't hear you. Nope. Nope. Unplug it and plug it back in. I heard that.
Hello?
All right,
There you go.
back. Now you're not back.
We'll have to edit this part out.
Yeah. We'll get it out. Speaking of which, I need to do like the last 3 episodes. It's been crazy. While Mike fixes audio, he's the one that came up with that brilliant meme earlier.
Yeah, we're gonna leave him muted while we
Yeah.
talk about his brilliance.
Let's talk about his. He can hear us. So we can hear.
So if you haven't seen it yet, Mike made a great jiu-jitsu meme to combat the Ebola virus outbreak that is spreading across the country at a rapid pace of 2 infected nurses per month.
Yeah.
So a lot of commotion caused over the whole Ebola virus.
It's the new swine flu.
I'm not quite buying into it yet. I mean, it certainly could have potential, but I think that we'll be all right.
I think you have to try pretty hard to get Ebola, just considering
Tom-
it's not airborne and it's body fluids.
Right. And, Thomas Eric Duncan got pretty messed up by it, but I think for the rest of us, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
So back to the meme, though, he made a pretty awesome image of a hazmat suit striped up in show your roll patches, and it's gone viral again. Another masterpiece by Mr. Mijas. I think we have the Facebook stats show that 22,000 people have seen that image. It's been shared like 100.
Yeah. Oh, I lost you too, Cody. Hold on. I lost everybody. 1 second. I think my internet went out. few minutes, guys. I don't know what's going on. All right, we're back. We're good. Mike just decided to ditch the headset.
All right. We'll
All
go
right.
with it.
My headset's just for hearing you guys. I'm just yelling at my computer.
Yeah.
It's just for looks. Because I have this Mac with only one little button now, and then I have this deal here that won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Are we live again? Are we on?
Yep. We're back on.
I look crazy.
Do we want to bring Tommy and Alex in?
Yes. Oh, quick. Remember that grudge match I was talking about last week between Jason Dent and Dan Swift? It is going down this Sunday at Jason Dent's gym. They're doing 10 rounds, submission only. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to cover it. I tried to cover it, but I guess Jason said no. They
Oh,
just want to between themselves. So
that's
sorry, Dan Swift. I wanted to come. I just wanted to. I just wanted the person to just watch it.
that's some old Chinese martial arts master challenge stuff.
So is it the
Stephanie,
is
I
it
don't
the-
see your video. Is your video on?
I have it off. I just turned it off.
Oh, okay.
so is it first person to 10 submissions, or is it like best of 10? Like
best of 10, I guess.
So
The
for
first to
first-
6.
first to 6.
Yeah, so that's I think that I'm not 100% sure.
And
Dan's
they
a
go
tough
up
guy to
there.
submit.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, yeah,
So-
that's
Yeah, he's
That's,
he's tough. To do it 6
tough
times.
order.
So, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know
that's,
much. I don't know much about Jason Dent, other than what Dan Swift's been posting about him on the internet. But
yeah.
I'd
Don't
watch.
don't upset Dan Swift because he will annihilate you in real life and on Facebook. So
Yeah. Somebody got called a
Especially if you're
wanker.
cop.
Yeah.
That was Dan Swift got called a wanker.
I know. I didn't want to say who got. I didn't want to say who called who a wanker, but everybody's American here, and she's saying wanker. But to our British listeners, we just swear it like
maybe
4
one day
times.
we'll get them both on here and they'll talk about it. Or
Yeah, we'll have to let everybody know what happens.
Yeah.
well, let's get the boys on.
Yep.
Running late. Can't believe my microphone died. It sucks.
Since Stephanie's didn't announce our guests, we have Tommy Wallace and Alex Wallace and Tommy Costa of High Ground Jiu-Jitsu tonight.
I did announce them.
Well, I forgot.
Steven has it on. Sure. I mean, the guy's got, he's studying in college. He's got finals coming up, and you give him that kind of pressure, Cody.
It's been a trying week.
It's been a trying week.
I was supposed to start training, and then I got sick, and then my dog got sick.
See,
My
I
dog's
feel
sick, too.
I haven't rolled since Saturday. I feel like sick from not rolling. Not Ebola.
My dog's sick too, but luckily my dog is at Aaron's parents' house, and the dog has been shitting all over Aaron's parents' house and not my house.
That's gross. But
It is
Tommy,
gross.
Alex.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How are you?
Pretty good. How about you?
what's up?
Hey.
Oh, you guys are together. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Yeah, we just got done training, so we just stuck around.
That's cool.
Alex, do you train primarily at Tommy's, or do you cross train a couple other gyms?
This is primarily where I train. This is like actually my home base. Sometimes I'll go to the Mat Factory every once in a while, but this is it, man. I train here like 4 or 5 days a week.
Nice. And do you also teach there?
Not really. Only when he's sick. We're out of town.
Or out of town?
I saw.
Alex, give us a little bit of your background. How you got involved with high ground? How you got involved in jiu-jitsu?
It's kind of funny, man. I got involved in jiu-jitsu between my junior and senior year wrestling season. I remember I went to a place, I don't even know if it exists anymore. It was called Kiski Martial Arts. And there was a skinny blonde dude. His name was Ian, who was like, he was doing he was kicking everybody's butt pretty much. And I was like, man, I'll smash this skinny dude. And I went out there, and I had a little bit of wrestling at the time. And I remember trying to ankle pick him, and then I was like, armbar. I was like, that's odd. Double leg, choke. I mean, I was just getting whooped. And then from there, I was kind of hooked on it. So I did it for about 6 months, and then I stopped doing it for a while just because of availability. I couldn't really make my way out there. And I didn't do it again, actually, until my second semester at Duquesne. I hooked up with Jimmy Serra. I went into South Hill Judo is where he used to have it. And he gave me like this piss-colored non-bleach gi. And I remember just getting worked. And then shortly after, or shortly before, High Ground opened up. And then after the semester ended, I was able to train there during the summer. And really the rest is history. I've been there ever since.
What year were you at Duquesne? Because I was there from 2007 to 2011.
Okay. I went from 2000 until I graduated last year, so still a little bit now. What'd you major in?
I was a physics major.
Okay, I was math, and I minored in econ.
Okay,
maybe we crossed over, had a couple classes together.
Yeah, I may have taken a couple calc classes together. I took calc like 8 times, so probably one of those times.
Last time I was on the podcast, Cody and I realized we probably played hockey against each other when we were in high school.
That's right.
Yeah. So Alex, what do you do now besides jiu-jitsu? Like, what are you doing now?
Actually, I started training at the gym. Fitness 1440 is the front of the gym where High Ground is. I'm a trainer there. I like to work with athletes. It's kind of like my thing. I like being an athlete. I love working with athletes. I try to get athletes ready for their season. Try to keep their strength and endurance up throughout the season, because I think oftentimes people neglect that. They'll lift really hard, they'll work out really hard up until the season, and then they just kind of fade. They kind of stop doing that. But so I have a couple different athletes, a couple wrestlers, a couple hockey players, and it's great. I love doing it, and it works out because I can kind of create my own schedule, so I don't really have to miss training.
Alex, is weight training a big part of your training regimen with your jiu-jitsu?
You know what? Yeah, it is. I think it's important. Strength is never a weakness. If you can use a little bit of strength, I don't think that's a problem at all. Yeah, that's something that I find important. That's something that's part of my game. I lift probably 3 or 4 days a week, depending. It's very regimented. The programming is sound. And so, yeah, that's something that I find very valuable, something I find very, very important and transferable to, for being a mat athlete.
Now, when you say lift, what exercise do you use specific ones? Like, what lifting one do you do for jiu-jitsu?
I stick with the big 3. I stick with the bench press, deadlift, and squat. In my opinion, everything else should be built around that. That's your foundation. Everything after that is just gravy. I mean, maybe some cleans here and there, but that's a very advanced exercise. I think that's very good for Olympic lifting. There's definitely a part in that. But I think your bench press, your deadlift, your squat, some overhead pressing, I think that is the bread and butter for any athlete. At least I think that's what it should be. I mean, you got CrossFit gyms kind of popping up here and there. There's definitely a place for that as well. But for me, I think that the big 3 lifts, again, bench press, deadlift, and squat, are very, very important.
So what do you think about CrossFit and jiu-jitsu? Is there a place for that?
I think there can be a place for that. I think it can be a useful tool. As an end-all, be-all, I disagree with it. I think a lot of people kind of look at it as being like the ideal of what exercise should be. When in reality, I think that, you should periodize your training. You should have a phase where, you're kind of building up size, a phase when you're kind of building up strength, and then a phase when you're kind of peaking towards your competition. And that's what I stress with my athletes, and that's what I stress with myself. So I think CrossFit can be a useful tool in the last 4 or 5 weeks before a tournament. But other than that, I don't think it should be the end-all, be-all. That's just my opinion.
You talked about programming earlier when you were talking about lifting. I was just wondering if you could elaborate on that a little bit. What your ideas for programming for your athletes and especially wrestlers and guys that are on the mat.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I like to do with mat athletes, depending on how experienced they are, or athletes in general, is if it's the off season, it's block periodization, meaning we'll spend maybe 6 weeks doing hypertrophy training, which is size, maybe 6 weeks doing strength training to kind of get stronger, and then 6 weeks to kind of get ready to peak into the season. But if it's mid-season, we do something called daily undulated periodization, or DUP, which is more or less the workout changes, the intensity changes based on the day of the week. That way, you might not be building as much strength, you might not be building as much size or as much explosiveness, but you're definitely not losing anything. So I think DUP, or daily undulated periodization, is what's very, very important when you're in season, and block periodization is very important when you're out of season.
That's pretty cool. I've been doing Wendler's 5-3-1 for probably like 3 or 4 years now, and it's easy. You don't get bored with it. I'm still making progress 4 years later, and I think that's it's pretty important. It's good evidence that it's a solid program and it keeps working. I veered off and I did the Juggernaut program, which is just like a more advanced 5-3-1 if you're gonna compare it to something. But after probably 6 or 8 months, I went back to 5-3-1, and it's the big 3 exercises, and then the overhead press, and that's if I don't feel like doing anything else that day, I don't. I just do the exercise. I do Wendler's rep scheme, and I call it a day.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent program. Jason Blaha's program, Juggernaut's program, is another good program. I've been trying to get Tom to start lifting with me for a while now.
Nice.
It's just not really his thing, I guess. Maybe.
I also do the big 3. It's Burger King, McDonald's, Taco Bell. Those are my big 3. I've been I'm getting really good at it too. I have a good regimen.
Hey, it's a different big 3, but big 3 nonetheless.
That's right.
Big 3 that's gonna clog my heart any day here soon. So, what's up, Tommy? How's training going?
It's going really well.
What's up?
And what did we do? Half guard passes and some baseball bat chokes.
Nice.
It was good. Did a bunch of rounds, and now we're tired and we're feeling good.
How many times a week you guys train?
We have class every day, actually. We train during the day on Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then at night, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Nice. That's pretty busy.
It's like kickboxing and grappling, so there's pretty much something to do every day, if not both.
You guys got anyone going to Sonny's tournament?
Yeah. Who's competing? We have Pat Schwer. He's one of our white belts. He's competing. Nick Hewitt, another one of our white belts, is competing. He might go blue, actually. He's thinking about it because he won both his divisions at AGC. Who else is competing? Mark Spader might be there.
Nice.
And a couple people will probably drop in last second, unless it fills up. I think they're limiting it to 300 competitors, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Dave Margella's son, Dave Jr., is competing as well.
Nice. Has Dave been training?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, he's been training. His whole family trains, so there's like 4 in the gym now.
Does Mark have a place? Does he have a place where he's teaching out too?
Yeah, he's out in Latrobe at his place called Roll Grappling, and it's right off of 30, I think, and it's like upstairs in a jazzercise. He rents the space up there, and they have mats and everything. It's pretty nice.
Nice.
We do jazzercise to warm up before we roll there. Yeah. It works out.
Way to get limber.
Yeah.
Speaking of the AGC, Alex, you won the was it the open? It's the open weight purple belt, correct?
That's correct. Yep.
How many matches did you have that day? I remember you had a lot.
I think I had 3 matches. Three or 4. I think 3.
In the purple belt, but I'm saying in total that day you had.
Oh no! I just did that. I just needed the money because I needed to pay.
I thought you did more. I thought you did more than that.
Just that division. I figured, once I got the money, it's exactly what I needed to, get my tires changed, get my oil changed.
Exactly. You get in, get that money, get out. No reason
it's
to
nice
stick around.
competing for money, isn't it? It's nice to.
Jiu-Jitsu's paying the
show
bills.
something for your work, yeah.
Dude, for sure. I think that's something that would make the sport grow a lot in the area. The AGC, I really like what they did, how they had, money involved. Because, let's face it, everybody has enough metal trinkets. When you're a white belt and a blue belt, that's really, really cool. But then it gets to the point when you start getting a little more serious. Like, I could use a little bit of money for this. It cost me $90 to enter. Maybe if I could win something back, that'd be great. And then I really liked how I think the black belts got to compete for free. So we got to see a lot of really high level matches. I was super impressed with that tournament. I liked it a lot.
You had 3 matches? Was it?
Yeah.
3 matches, a couple $100.
Your matches went?
The first dude, I think I beat like 26-0. Then the second dude was like 8-0, and then the finals I think was 4-0. If I'm not mistaken.
I remember the 26-0 because we were talking about it.
Oh yeah, I remember that match.
Yeah, we were saying something about throwing a talent or something. I forgot. We said something about.
Yeah, well, the dude was huge. He was very, very big. So I knew I had one shot, and if I could take him down, usually big guys, not all the time, but oftentimes big guys have a tough time getting up. You can scramble around him. So as soon as he, kind of reached up to grab my gi, I just double legged him and then just tried to stay on top.
Was that Alex Castro from Central PA? Is that who that was?
He's a bigger Latino looking. Very friendly.
Yeah. He was down in Morgantown on one of the live events we did. We met him down there. Yeah, that was a good match. All of them were good. That finals match you had looked pretty tough against that guy from Columbus.
Yeah, I did not expect a guy to be built like that to have like a really tight guard game.
That's what we were talking about. Yeah, he looks. You would never guess that guy has such a smooth guard, but it was crazy.
The short fat.
Yeah, he was hitting the big 3: Burger King, McDonald's, and Wendy's, right?
I tell you, man, it's the new thing. It's
Mike, we got a Taco Bell going in across the street out here, so you got another reason to come down.
Definitely. I haven't been up to your gym. It's been a while now. I haven't had any work up there. It's been every time I work up there, I always love stopping into Tommy's gym. It's one of my favorite gyms. We haven't had any work in there in a while.
Last time you came up, I don't think I was there actually. I think I came back. I think I was out of town or sick.
Yeah, I think you were out of town. Me and a couple of the guys from Next Level came up. You were out of town. I think we stopped at Matt Factory first, and then we came there afterwards. I think. It's been a while. Definitely have to stop up one day.
I'll have to come down. I live down here now.
Anytime soon, Tommy?
I don't have any plans to compete anytime soon right now. I might do something next year, but I'm starting to get a lot more serious about thinking about my future with the sport and someday getting my black belt. I know it's not like something I'm thinking is right around the corner, but I can't be a brown belt forever. And
how long you been a brown belt?
About 4 years.
Yeah, you got to quit sandbagging. Way to get that black on.
Well, and right now we're not affiliated with anybody. We really haven't been for a while. We're just I have a lot of friends that are black belts, and so we haven't had a problem with promotions and stuff. But as far as me getting a black belt from somebody, that's something that I definitely have to get more serious about, and probably get with an affiliation for a while so I can earn it under somebody. And that's what I really want too, is to be a student of somebody who's really effing awesome and learn their stuff and earn their black belt. I don't just want to be given one because it's time,
Nova Unyao. Do it. Everybody else is a Gracie.
You don't want to pay somebody $1,000 to just give you your black belt?
You don't want to do it like that. You don't want to get it online? I can order you one right now and send it up to you.
Yeah, Mike, do it. I think I'm 128 centimeters, my belt. So,
All right, perfect.
what was I going to say?
That's it. An association, those are pretty expensive, though. If you want to get a good one, those aren't cheap.
Well, and the thing now is too is like I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't, because if I approach somebody as like a brown belt, it's gonna either look, I could look like I'm just shopping for a black belt, which isn't the case, but it's like if I don't do that, then I'm, and I feel like I owe it to my guys as well, someday to have a black belt, because they want to be able to say they train under a black belt and all that kind of stuff. So.
Is there anyone you're leaning toward? Is there anyone, have you even thought about it, or is there?
I have a lot of friends that are black belts. One of my friends, JoJo, up in New York City, they have a few schools together, him and a couple other black belts, and it's East Coast United.
Uh-huh.
I've known them for a few years, and we've done some training, and he's come down for some seminars. But I haven't had the time to get to see him. So he's a possibility. And also, I don't know do you guys know Anthony? He trains with us. He's one of our blue belts. Hopefully soon to be purple belt.
I might have met him once.
Yeah, you probably have.
Skinny?
He was down in school. He went to school in Florida, and he trained with Baga at ATT. Baga won a World Masters like 2 or 3 years ago, I think. But he's a really great guy, and I have a lot of people that know him, and Anthony knows him, and his family knows him. So he's a really great guy, and he's another possibility. But single and ready to mingle.
Single, ready to mingle. That's like the single call for jiu-jitsu guy when you're looking for an affiliation. That's like it's like a Match.com with jiu-jitsu mixed to it.
Yeah, and it's tough though, because you want to really if you're gonna fly somebody's flag, especially like since we've been doing our own thing for like 4 years, it's not. I just don't want it to be like something we pay for, and that I really want to stand behind it, and know that person's has our best interest in mind as well. So
Part of a team, definitely. Alex, another thing I want to talk about was the pans you did in New York. Give us a little how did you? Was it something you did last minute? Did you plan on doing it? Did you train for that?
Yeah, this is something that I was looking forward to for a while. The AGC, that was spur of the moment. Like I didn't know I was doing that until probably 3 days before. So I just walked into that one and just weighed in because I was so focused on the Pan Ams. But I was like, man, I could use this money. I need to win it. So I went out there and I competed, and fortunately, I was fortunate enough to win it that day. But yeah, the Pan Ams was something I was preparing for hard. It was something that I was working for. And I would have loved to win it, but a third place is still pretty good. I lost to a dude from London, and the guy that won it was from Brazil. So I can't be too pleased being there's no other Americans above me on the podium. So I can't be too upset about that.
That's not bad. That's not bad. How did your matches go?
The first guy, of course I looked everybody up. And I was trying to I'm like, okay, I could beat this guy, and then I have this guy next. But the first dude, I looked up the completely wrong guy. So I thought it would be like this stud MMA fighter. I'm like, this is gonna be a brawl. So I was expecting it to be like really, really gritty and tough. I looked up the wrong dude, and it was like some, slightly overweight, middle-aged guy. I was like, yes. So I ended up beating that dude. No, so I ended up beating that dude like 16-0. The second guy was extremely talented, very, very good wrestler. But I think I was beating him 4-0, and then I submitted him with a guillotine when he just took a bad shot. The third guy, he was beating me on advantages because you have to hold the position for 3 seconds. If you get into a scoring position but don't hold it long enough, they give you an advantage. So it was 0-0. He was up on 3 advantages. But then, I was just tough against him, and I ended up beating him 4-0 on points, but he had the 3 advantages. After that, I had a dude that was the guy from London, and we were battling. It was 2-2. We both had 3 advantages, and I was rolling out of he was getting advantages because I kept rolling out of his omoplata. So he was getting sweep advantages for that, not points necessarily. So it was 2-2, 3 advantages apiece. And then when I tried to roll out of his omoplata again, he just stuck me and caught me. So Unfortunately, I lost that match, but still ended up with a third.
That's
And do you
a
think that-
that's a
Sorry.
huge stage for sure. You know, third place is definitely nothing to feel bad about. That's awesome. You know, especially when there's a dude from Brazil, a dude from, you know, I mean, that's like the biggest tournament on the East Coast. You know, it really is. It brings in people from everywhere. So, you know, that's, you know, everybody talks about, you know, guys training full time for jiu-jitsu, and obviously we talked to you about your training regimen earlier, and you know, 4 or 5 days a week with some lifting thrown in. You know, that's not the same as all these guys that are doing 2 and 3 day practices. So what do you do specifically to, you know, basically take away that advantage of all the mat time that they have? Is there a way that you combat that basically?
Yeah, I think that, you know, if you train smart enough, you can overcome a lot of deficits in different ways. So you got to be honest with yourself. You got to find where your weaknesses are, and you have to work on those. I mean, you can come to the gym and you can just try to pound everybody, but I mean, in the end of the day, you have maybe 10 hours a week to work on stuff. You can spend 10 hours a week just going over the things you're already good at. You can spend those 10 hours a week doing stuff that you need to work on. And I think that's something that, you know, high ground, that's something we really stress, I think, is to try and improve, try to work from positions you might not necessarily be comfortable with. And I think that's helped me immensely. Furthermore, when I was in college, I could only really train 2 or 3 days a week. So 4 or 5 days a week is nearly twice as much training as I was getting before. I mean, when I had very little time to train, maybe 3-4 hours a week, and I was making strides, but nothing like when you're training 4 or 5 days a week, and you have time to think about jiu-jitsu, you have time to think about the game plan. So yeah, I keep a journal too. I keep a journal of, you know, the moves that I learned. I keep a journal of what I think would go together, different combinations of, if this pass fails, will this pass work off of it? So I try to keep I try to work on my weaknesses, and I try to look at it from an intellectual point of view instead of just, you know, coming in and trying to smash people and throw them around. It's got to be smarter than that. And I think that that's allowed me to kind of make up for the fact that some of these dudes from Brazil might be training 8 hours a day. This dude from London, there's no telling how much he can train. But is he training this smart? Maybe he is. But I can't control what he's doing. I can just control what I'm doing. And I think if I continue to train smart, and maybe if I even train a little bit more, I think I can do well at these tournaments. I think that instead of a third, I think I can get a first. And that's what it's about. I mean, that's what I'm in it for, to win these big tournaments. I'm not in it just, I mean, I love it. I love it. It's fun. I love this game. But I also love to compete, and I love to win. And I think that, you know, if I just continue doing what I'm doing, then good things will happen.
Awesome.
Alex, what's the ultimate goal for you? Is it to become a world champion? Is that?
I would love to be the best in the world just one day. I don't have to be Keenan Cornelius. I don't have to be JT Torres. I just want to be the best in the world for one day. And then from there, I mean, I'd love to eventually open up something like what Tommy's doing, have a gym, be able to train athletes, have a dojo in the back. I mean, it's the life, man. I love this. That's why I'm here all the time. I spend too many unpaid hours here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it actually makes me feel bad. He's here more than I am. I have to show up and do work more often just so I don't look bad in front of him.
So Tommy, I believe Alex is like the perfect addition to your gym. It's probably what every teacher's looking for, the ultimate student that helps out with the gym, represents the gym, competes for the gym. It's probably the ultimate thing you've been looking for.
Oh yeah, I mean, and the fact that now, absolutely, you know, the fact that now that he's doing personal training and actually adding more, you know, contributing to the bottom line is even better. You know, I mean, it's good when you have dedicated people who will help you out in a pinch, teach for you, do anything for you. But you know, when you actually have somebody who's motivated enough to you know, start contributing money and making money for the gym, then that's all you can really ask for. So I'm proud of him, and we're happy to have him with us.
Definitely.
Hey, you mentioned Brazil. You know, the guys in Brazil that are training 8 hours a day. You went down to Brazil with Isaac, right? What was that like with the whole Connection Rio experience?
I'll tell you what, man, that was the experience of a lifetime. I don't know if either of you have ever been there, but for sure, if you can make the trip make the trip, man. It was amazing. We trained at De La Riva. We trained there every day. We trained at Rio Fight Team. We trained at Hosado, who's like a red belt. Man, we trained with the Dennis Ash, the dude that's in charge of Connection Rio. He's super talented. You would never expect it, but watching him roll with other black belts, he's just, I mean, the dude has some serious skills. But yeah, it was the trip of a lifetime. Shout out to the Bad Gringos. That's Isaac, Dom, Anthony, and myself. Yeah, that's, I mean, apparently gringo's like a racist term, but we just kind of embraced it. But, it was a time of it was the time of my life, man. I loved it. We were down there, I think, for 7 or 8 days. But I would love to go back. I'd love to go back. I'd love to go back with the guys that I train with because I think they'd really, really enjoy it.
Do you do a lot of do you do a lot of cross training with Isaac and Dom?
Not as often anymore. I fought once and I was planning on fighting again. I was training with them more often. But recently it's just been here. You know, I live 2 miles away from here and I love training here. I work here. So, I mean, more often than not, I'm here. But I'd love to go out there maybe once a week, once every other week to go out there and train with those guys because it's always great to get in there with a world-class wrestler, really. I mean, it's nothing but good things would come from that if I can make the trip out once or twice a week.
Hey, you mentioned being surprised at Dennis Ash being good. I found an old jiu-jitsu competition video. It was like the SoCal Pro-Am from like 2000 where Mayhem Miller got choked out by either one of the Gracie brothers at Torrance when it was with his own gi, and Mayhem got choked out without the gi. But Dennis Ash was in that tournament, and he actually looked really good, and I was surprised myself because I recognized his name from Connection Rio, and I was like, oh shit, this guy's really good. Like this was like 12 years ago. So yeah, you're not the only one that has been surprised at his skill level. I thought it was just the guy that ran Connection, Rio.
And he's won some big tournaments down in Rio de Janeiro. We went and we watched the Rio Open actually when we were down there, which was amazing.
That's awesome.
And I don't mean to call out the refs, but I saw some of the most flagrantly blown calls against people that weren't Brazilian than I've ever seen in any.
Say it. You could say
so it's not a
refs are the worst refs against Americans.
You have to submit if you want to win down in Brazil, you have to submit the guy.
Or kill the guy.
Or kill him, yeah. Or kill him.
It's usually kill him. You have to kill him.
But don't use leg locks, they'll boo you.
Yeah. So you basically have to kill. So I've been screwed by a Brazilian ref before, but whatever. But another thing, we were just talking about Mayhem Miller. Did you see that he was live tweeting his arrest?
Yeah. I did see that.
A couple days ago.
He's nuts.
That's crazy.
He's crazy.
He was live tweeting his arrest. I guess he was held up. The SWAT team came and got him, and it was that's pretty crazy. Since we're just talking about him.
That's like
Alex, what do you prefer more, the gi or the no gi? What's your?
I love them both. I prefer no gi. I like the pace of it. I love the gi, but I mean sometimes if a dude's really really good in the gi, he can slow you down too much. And I like action, man. I like to move. I like to score points. I mean, if I can beat a dude 16-0, I'm going to try to. I hate to just kind of lay there and stall. I mean, sometimes it might look like that, but I am trying to work for points always. I love the pace of it. I love the game of it. The gi is great. Don't get me wrong. I train them both. I probably train gi more than I train no gi, but I prefer no gi, to be honest.
Do you feel that training the gi has helped your no gi?
Yes, I do. And I think the reason being is I think that the gi can help I shouldn't say particular, but a certain type of athlete no gi. For example, somebody that's explosive, strong, and athletic, he might be able to get away with sloppy technique out of the gi. I shouldn't say sloppy technique, but just rip something out, just muscle you away and things like that. But when you're in the gi, it's much harder to do that. In my opinion, I think it's much, much harder to do that. So it forces an explosive individual to kind of slow down and think about jiu-jitsu a little bit more. And I think that mentality, more than anything, crosses over to no gi. I think some people, are more cerebral about it from the very beginning, and gi training might not necessarily help their no gi. But for me in particular, I mean, Tom and I were just talking today. I kind of used to be a spaz. And I think that training in the gi slowed me down a lot, made me more of a cerebral player, and has helped my no gi immensely, without a doubt.
I agree. I like that view of it.
I think everyone that's against the whole gi argument thinks that them slowing down is a bad thing, but really it just gives you a chance to perform the best possible technique that you can. Just because you're going slow in practice doesn't mean that if you're in the middle of an MMA fight or something like that you're not going to be able to be explosive when you have to be. You're not going to forget how to be explosive if you were explosive when you started training.
Absolutely. I agree completely. I think it just gets, for whatever reason, there's a stigma attached to it. And I don't understand it because, like I said, it's helped me so much.
It's mostly Eddie Bravo's fault, I think.
Yeah, blame him for everything.
Yeah, but he wears gi pants.
He did
So.
the thing in his book and started a bunch of beef, and now we have to argue about it.
Yeah. Well, when everybody gets Ebola, we'll have to wear that radioactive gi anyways.
Yeah.
But all right, we're gonna call it for the night, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Hey,
Thanks for coming on, guys. That was awesome.
Hey, real quick, can I plug our seminar we have next month?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Plug away.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so we're having Val Worthington, who, if you don't know who she is, look her up. She's one of the best female black belts in the world, and it's going to be a really unique seminar. It's on Sunday, November 9th. We are really excited about it because you can have somebody in who's an athletic specimen, who weighs 240 pounds, who can tap everybody in the room with pretty much anything they want. And they can show you what they use to tap everybody because, but we're having, a female black belt in who's maybe just a little bit taller than me, and she could probably kick all our asses too. So I think what she shares is going to be really awesome, really good technique, and we've never had a seminar like it, I think, in the area. So it's going to be really exciting. She was, let me look at her, some of her stuff here. She won gold at Mundials in 2008, purple belt, 2009 brown black belt, silver medalist at Mundials, and won Pan Am's gold at black belt in 2010. So she's pretty good. And she runs that women's grappling camp that they hold camps like twice a year. And so we're really
The
excited.
seminar is male and female, right? It's not just for girls.
It's for everybody. Yeah, anybody, no matter where you train. It's Sunday, November 9th. Starts at noon till 3 o'clock. And you can look it up on our Facebook page. And we have an Eventbrite, so you can pay for it right there. It's going to be $80, and we're probably going to have to actually bring up some extra mats for it. So
Now, will she be rolling after the seminar with the students? Will she be?
Yeah, we're pretty much, she pretty much said we can do whatever we want. So we're still talking about the format. We're definitely going to do some Q&A and just really open it up. She has a really cool outlook on jiu-jitsu as like a way of life and as a sport and how to balance those things. She writes a lot for breakingmuscle.com, and she has a ton of really, really cool jiu-jitsu articles. I bet you probably read them before and haven't even realized it was her.
I was going to mention that I'd read some of her articles on Breaking Muscle before. So
she's awesome. She's going to open up for a Q&A, and we'll probably get some rolling in at the end. So it's going to be really good.
Nice, that's awesome. We'll definitely get the word out.
Thanks for having us on.
No, thanks for
Thanks
coming on, guys.
guys.
thanks for coming, guys.
We'll try to stop by, visit once in a while.
Definitely. I'm gonna make my way back up there. That's it. There it is. That's it.
I'm going
to sleep in the night.
Yep. All right, guys. Have a good night.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Tommy drops the choke right at the end.
Yeah.
Makes it right in there.
That's how you end the night.
That's how you end it, with a nice choke.
Just put him to sleep. Did we talk about Worlds?
No, we did not.
The World Jiu-Jitsu Expo. Yes.
Yeah.
Go that in there real quick.
There is a lot of matches in that. There is that thing. I want to go to that thing so bad. It's I just hear that just the boost, you get so much free stuff.
Well, on top of all the matches, they have all those seminars too with pretty much everybody that you would want to. But yeah, I looked up all the matches earlier today. I couldn't believe how many there were. There were way more than I thought they were having.
There's a lot.
Where's it at?
So,
California?
California.
the same place everything jiu-jitsu related happens.
Same thing. Everything cool happens.
Yeah,
either Vegas or
far away from us.
Yeah.
So Mike, is there one match that you're looking forward to more than any of the others?
Yes. I'm a very old school guy. So the Vitor Shaolin and Nino Schembri is probably my throwback one I want to see the most, like old school throwback.
Yeah.
And the newer ones, I'd like to see Leo Nogueira and Tim Spriggs. He's Leo. I like Leo. Tim Spriggs. I think he got second at the Nogi. He got second.
I don't know if he got second or he lost to he got third because he lost
got third.
to
Okay, he got third.
he lost to Lucas Leitch, and then him and Jackson Souza did the closeout in the finals. But yeah, I was actually kind of looking forward to seeing that one too because Tim Spriggs is he just got his black belt, but he's no joke for sure. And Leo Nogueira lost to what's that big purple belt's name from Lovato's gym?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
At the ADCC, he
Yeah,
lost
the big
to
boy, the big
Jared
big guy.
Dopp. Jared Dopp.
Dopp, that's it.
Yeah, so Jared Dopp beat Leo Nogueira at the at ADCC. So it's definitely not possible or not impossible for Spriggs to pull off the upset. And for some reason, when I look at Tim Spriggs and Leo Nogueira's matchup, it makes me think of Keenan and Lucas Leitch from last year's World Pro Expo because Lucas had won the World Championships at black belt. Keenan had just gotten his black belt, and then Keenan
no one's expected Keenan to come out
right. And Keenan came out and sub Lucas with that sick ass Kimura hot dog
Kimura spun around to the armbar.
Yeah,
which is a very nice way to set up an armbar for the Kimura to spin around from it.
Yeah.
Nice
yeah. So for some reason, when I look at that, it makes me think of that match. So I think Tim definitely has a chance because he's a beast.
Also, there's Grippo and Taquino.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that because Tanquino's been doing a lot of MMA training, and he's going to put the gi back on, and Gianni Grippo's that guy that's he's training 3 times a day in the gi, so that's no easy matchup.
That he has this match, and then he's got that super fight against Miao and Cobo Padillo.
Right.
Sub only, so he's definitely
he's got a busy schedule.
Making rounds.
He's definitely that's gonna be a good one. And he beat Gary Tonin at the no-gi pans in New York in the finals. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, Gianni's sick, so I'm pumped up about that.
Yeah, Gianni's won the no-gi pans like 6 times or something like that. He's won it a lot. Then we got Barrett Yoshida putting the gi on. That's pretty exciting.
I like Barrett. I'm an old school guy. I like Barrett too.
I really liked his match with Jeff Glover. I know a lot of people hated that. Because, I
loved it. I loved his donkey guard.
I thought it was awesome. I love
his donkey guard. It was awesome. So
yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff going on.
Kid Dale's also competing. Kid Dale's also, and I believe it's in the gi. I got it somewhere.
Shaved all his facial hair off.
Ricardo.
A vast virus database has been updated.
Yeah, that's in the. So I like to see Kid in the gi because we saw him lose no gi at Metamoris, which I think he's more of a gi guy.
Yeah,
I've seen him do gi, so he's a lot better than gi. So I'm excited to see how he does in the gi. So
yeah, he has mentioned that he likes the gi better. He did shave the beard, so I don't know how that'll affect his performance. He was rocking a pretty sweet beard for a long time, but I think he shaved it off for some sort of charity cause. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think he made most of his gym do it too, or at least his closest friends in the gym.
Dude, the seminars there are sick though. Like some of the names, Cyborg, the Mendes brothers, Leo Vieira, Ricardo Laborio, Caio Terra, Clark Gracie, Marcus Almeida Pachecha, Leoto Machida's even doing a seminar.
He's a brown or black belt.
Yeah, so that's Drysdale's doing one. Henzo Grace is doing one. I think this is Henzo Grace is the organizer of this. I think, right?
The Gracies are, yeah.
And if you don't know about the world, this is the one where they had Nick Diaz was supposed to have a super fight against
for charity or whatever.
Braulio, and then Nick never showed up. So that's if you want to know what that's the Jiu-Jitsu Expo. Well, there'll be some good matches, and I think you can get this. I think you can get a pay-per-view from the website directly. I think they have a pay-per-view from the website directly.
It sounds like it's a lot bigger than it was last year. Because last year there was like maybe 2 or 3 feature matches that were announced, and now there's like a ton of stuff.
It would be a lot bigger if they would have the BJJ hour come cover it, but
Yeah.
you can contact us. So
yeah, maybe. Oh, it's going on this weekend, right?
Yeah,
this weekend. I was gonna say maybe I can pull some strings and get a notepad and my press hat out there or something.
there you go. Maybe that BJJ hour press hat.
And on top of all the seminars and the super fights, they have 3 different IBJJF events going on that same weekend at the expo. So there's just like a ton of stuff going
There's just so much out there. There's just so much. But we're catching up there.
Be a lot of pajama fighting.
Middle of America, we're catching up. Closing the
right.
gap between New York and California. We're bringing it in. We're bringing it in. So
that's one way you can advertise jiu-jitsu. Like the Jiu-Jitsu Expo is just you just lounge around in your pajamas the whole weekend. You might get choked out, but I mean, part of the fun.
I mean, even Renato Laranja has a booth there at the Jiu-Jitsu Expo. So you get to see some superstars while you're there too. So
we'll have a booth one day.
One day.
All right,
guys.
We I have my thing next week. My fundraiser event, Extra Life. It's for the kids, for the Children's Hospital. I'm gonna put up the link for donations. You don't even have to watch me like make a fool of myself playing video games with my friends. You can just donate money and go straight to the hospital. So that's gonna be next week from Friday to Sunday. We'll be live streaming. I'll be live streaming, unless Mike decides he wants to just show up randomly when he's at work or something. He's supposed to be at work, but
we know how that works.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot going on, and we'll see you guys next week, same time. Have a good night. Have a good week.